An in-depth discussion goes a long way, but it is not the only thing that creates a great piece of journalism. Journalist Elisa Gabbert uses the rhetorical devices ethos, logos, and pathos to discuss their feelings on a late poem. Gabbert analyzes Musée des Beaux-Arts by W.H. Auden and a painting by Peter Bruegel the Elder, Landscape with the Fall of Icarus. Gabbert speaks about how suffering and how it resides everywhere in poems, paintings, and even in plain sight. So today we'll be observing and discussing how each tactic used by the author supports and works well in tandem with each other to create a strong journalistic piece. Gabbert starts the piece off with multiple strong uses of ethos. Gabbert does not speak as if they are only suggesting or unsure of things. In fact, they only ever make statements as they are, not once posing a question of doubt or uncertainty. Readers are immediately informed of the author's experience with reading many literary pieces, their knowledge gained from them, and how it will be used to support their understanding of the poem Musée des Beaux-Arts. Gabbert would continue to establish ethos using statements of personal experience to the audience. These statements would help build the audience's favor towards Gabbert. Now, in terms of logos, there are a few instances, but the most evident ones occur in the initial argument of Icarus and the meaning behind his painting. Gabbert talks of Icarus and how his disaster is to be perceived. Firstly, the author talks about Icarus falling and how his failure only matters if it is noticed. The painting captures the feeling of Sonder by highlighting Icarus's disaster in comparison to the very large, vast world and the ongoing complex lives of the many people that reside. The plowman may have heard the splash, the forsaken cry, but for him, it was not an important failure. Speaking about how easy it is for an everyday person with visible signs of struggle or fatigue to be walked past and suffer in silence. The execution of pathos helps readers better connect to the deeper meanings of the poem. Gabbert gives the readers more exposition of Auden's experiences in the 1930s, depicting his social status as a poet, his friends, the current world's political climate, and the troubled state of the world in the time period as well. This is done so that the audience can have a potential sense of connection and care for Auden and his work in this piece. Auden often traveled, visiting Iceland, Spain, and China during the late 30s, and writing of wars and tensions he witnessed. Gabbert connects Auden's first-hand experiences to the poem's subjects of death and suffering, and how it can become such a part of a person's life to the point of them being no different than, say, a tree falling down in a storm. You see nothing but suffering everywhere, and that's shown up a lot, especially in the early bits of the poem where they speak of children, right? This exact point is used with another painting, The Massacre of the Innocents. This painting is filled with death, chaos, destruction, and strangely, monotony. While women lay and sulk, men cower and beg, dogs bark and move about, you as the viewer are explicitly being shown these. In fact, the angle, color palette, even the overall positioning of the painting is created in such a way that does not invite you to its chaos. As Gabbert says himself, the literal perspective of these paintings is automatically metaphorical. No one in particular pulls your eye. A matter of viewpoint. Now, you as the viewer, you are purposely led astray, made to see a seemingly mundane, perhaps just busy town. To find the truth in the title, the feelings of these people, you are expected to analyze and seek out these issues. Gabbert's use of rhetorical devices help create a strong connection between their thoughts and the poem and the painting. First, using ethos, Gabbert establishes credibility with an audience by stating experience and knowledge of the poem. Next, Logos is brought about by connecting real-world experiences and those of the events in Peter Bruegel's painting to help the audience understand its message clearer. Finally, pathos is established by using W.H. Auden's unfortunate past experiences with war and how it shaped his poem to build an emotional connection with the audience. Elisa Gabbert does a great job journaling how suffering is everywhere, even in poems and paintings. With everything being said, that's all for today's video. Check out the channel for more amazing videos.